This is a Heritage Hip Hop exclusive. This is a Heritage Hip Hop exclusive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show that not only appreciates hip hop as a culture, but it appreciates the people who create the culture as well. Welcome to Off the Record, where we talk to the artists and we talk about the specific body of work, the album, the project that not only defines who they are, but is a testimony to the hip hop culture by the fine work they put together. I am your host, Karev, and I'm here to talk with one of my favorite MCs. See, doing Heritage Hip Hop, I met a lot of great people, right? And I met some people, not everybody I met made songs or something I really connect with. And this person has made multiple songs I actually connected with. And to do this project is a blessing. This is the 10th anniversary of this project, which means if you haven't heard it, not only are you 10 years too late, but you're welcome because now you can catch up to one of the better, and if not the greater voices of New Jersey hip hop. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Chief Bali. What up?
Bali, what up? Thank you, Rev. Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me, yo. This is amazing. Long overdue, as we discussed, and I can't wait to dive into this with you, yo. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, because at the end of the day, how do we show appreciation if we don't talk about the greatness of what it is that's created? You know what I'm saying?
Super facts, big facts.
So let's start from the beginning. 10 years.
Yo, ain't that crazy how fast?
Yeah, this album's almost a teenager. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about it.
Word.
Let's talk about how.
Word, yo. I can't believe it so fast, man. Word is born.
So this project originally came out in 2015.
Yes. On my birthday, September 2nd, 2015. Yes.
How has the climate of hip hop changed creatively for you since this project to now?
I'm glad you said that because what's funny is that when I did this project, Obama was in office. The climate of the country was different. A lot of the writing was inspired by the energy of the country at that time, and for a while after the album, when Hateful Eight and all the other projects came out, they were directed in different directions. But I actually feel now that the time is coming back. That energy is like sparked again with the climate of the country. Like, to keep it real with you, yo, like, so this is the first time in a long time I felt, I don't know if this is a word, colored section-y again. Like, you know what I mean? Like as of recently, I've been like, oh wow, I'm starting to feel that same type of energy. So yeah, the climate is changed, but it's a little bit darker now, I would say.
Yeah, today's climate is not only hate-based, but it's super political to the point where now people are erasing not only the history, the true history of this country, they're erasing the understanding of it through diabolical means to change education and social and political opinions. What do you think?
Oh, they're forgetting the whole point of what history is. History is for us to learn from. So it's there for us to not repeat our mistakes, and literally forgetting that by trying to erase the history just so it gets feel better, or just so like, bro, like it's a mistake. It's 1,000% a mistake. That history are roadmaps for us to not repeat the same pitfalls and same issues that we had before. You know what I'm saying? So by erasing that, we're doomed. We're literally doomed. I mean, I believe that's the saying. You know what I'm saying? It's doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, I see. I want to give some history behind your project before we dive into it, because the colored section seems to be, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, the colored section seems to be the understanding of life through the lens of color inspiration. Am I correct?
Yes, kind of in a sense. So, colored section, came from the fact that when I was growing up, I always had a unique story. And I always felt as though it was a large group of us out there that did not have that same story. So growing up, listening to the album, I talk about my parents, my mom, um, the way I grew up with my mom. It's crazy because I don't want to give away truth to the album because I want people to go listen to it if they never heard it. But it's basically always felt isolated, always as though I was in my own little set world, and I felt as though I can connect with people that might relate to that story. So I figured, why not call us a section, and then did that to the politics and of course the colored section of Black people and the way Black people came up and how we all felt isolated, and how we all grew up or isolated from the slaving times and things like that too. So I related it to that and call it the colored section, and I felt as though that I kind of say welcome to the colored section, a gray area, part of society America's afraid of. So right there, it tells you there, it's like, welcome to the color section. We're a gray area that nobody wants to talk about. We're the part that nobody wants to mention, which is, kind of a pun and a punchline in itself too. But that's basically kind of what I meant. Not even kind of, that's what I meant.
Coming from different backgrounds and showing that the hip hop lifestyle isn't a monolith, is a power, don't you think? Because now you can introduce people to your world, and then people from your world can see the influence you have on others outside of your world. Do you agree?
Yes, definitely. It's definitely powerful because it gave me, even though I had friends and even though I had family and things like that, it gave me more people to reach out to. And it was like, wow, oh wow, we share the same story. Oh wow, you share the same story too. And then it also incited courage in me to tell my story more. Whereas I used to be ashamed of, things that was going on in my crib or things that was going on with my mom, or not even that, just the fact that at that time when I was performing and doing my thing or whatever, creating the album and going through that, I didn't feel as though I fit in or whatever that with the current climate of the hip hop thing. I wasn't the drug dealer, I wasn't the murderer, I wasn't the killer or things like that. You know what I'm saying? I was outside for all that and seeing all that and was around it and could speak to it and had a lot of family and friends that was involved in it and, things like that. But it definitely gave me the courage and bravery to stand up and tell my story more, for sure.
And that's the beauty of this album. Because as you said, the culture climate has returned. The one thing that has never failed in that rush that people are going through now is the misconception of people, the idiosyncrasies of stupidity, and the power of ignorance. I want to bring up a name to you, and before we get into the album, do you know Johann Friedrich Blumenbach?
Nah.
You never heard of that person?
No. I know somebody. I grew up with somebody named Johannes. He that I graduated from in elementary school, but other than that, nah.
To give the backdrop to this beautiful album called TheColoredSection, it has a little boy on the cover of the album. Is that you?
Yes.
The little boy on the cover of the album with the American flag behind him. And when you see the name Colored Section, immediately it makes you think of racism and separation.
Correct.
And Johann Friedrich Blumenbach was the man who came up with the 5 race theory. That there are 5 races: Caucasian, which is the white race, the Mongolian, which is the yellow race, the Malayan, which is the brown race, the Ethiopian, which is the black race, and the American Indian, which is the red race. If you remember KRS One Must Learn, that was the basis of the song when he was in the school and he had the ice cream. And when I saw this album and I saw the name, I said, the color section with an American flag. This is going to be entertaining because now we have an album that may address what it's like to be a young man in America in a hip hop sense that's growing through the delineation of identity. Am I correct?
You are very much on point. Yes, sir.
Yo, man, we love hip hop, man. And we gonna talk
Very much on point.
we gonna talk that shit tonight. So let's get into the album. The Colored Section by Chief Bali.
Yes, sir.
Track one was a poem. I don't see your face on camera. It's all black, bro. You there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Mine's not black.
Okay, well, on my screen it's all black. I don't see you.
Yours did the same thing. Yours did the same thing a second ago and cleared right back up.
As soon as this picture went out, the audio went perfect. That's crazy. But
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this or not, listen. This will be on audio as well on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, everywhere you stream Heritage Hip Hop. This classic interview, and I'm calling the classic now, will be there. So let's get back into let's get back into the program. The intro of the album is a poem of life seen through the view of colors with the backdrop of the song. Show me your true colors is being sung. Tell me about that
Yes.
and what you wanted people to feel when they got into this project from the intro.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you shit. Like that literally, it's funny because the beginning was the ending. It was literally the last thing that we recorded for the album. All of the songs and everything else was done for the album. My bro Blues, he re-entered back into the crew in our camp around that time, and Blues was already a known poet and also a producer as well too. Shout out to Valley Hour, 8 Square Rebel Radio. But I told him I needed something. Once he listened to the entire album or listened to the music, I said, I need you to encapsulate everything that you just heard, but in like an 8-bar stanza in some way, shape, or form. Shout out to Zeta Mayer from 8 Square Rebel Radio, because he's the genius behind putting the music together and thinking of that Cyndi Lauper sample for True Colors, which is also a Kodiak commercial, which is also aids to the music and aids to the ads, I should say, to the meaning of the fucking of the joint as well too. And you know, it's painting a picture. It's the true colors of the picture. It's pointing out that different colors represent different feelings of emotions and different things you're going to experience when you go through the album. What's Rev, help me out if you can. What's the thing where it's called? I don't want to call it a thing, but it's to me, I call it a superpower, a condition where you can see colors when music plays.
Oh, is that kinesthesia or something like that?
Yes. So in a sense, it's kind of like that because it's assigning an emotion to every single color that he's displaying or talking about in the poem.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now, so we got the accurate name of it.
Right.
Synesthesia, a neurological condition.
Synesthesia.
Yeah, with synesthesia, a neurological condition where stimulation of the senses leads to involuntary experiences in the second sense. Sound to color.
Right.
Synesthetic experiences.
Right.
Projection. Hybrid, sound like a weed. And associative. That's dope. Because if you think about it, colors have been associated with creation of life. Let there be light. So then there had to be darkness. There had to be a black, then there had to be a white, a revelation. Then from there, we got the water, which is blue, the land that was brown and green. Green gave the oxygen,
right.
Brown gave the dust, which became Adam and Eve. It's very interesting how when we make the representation of color something that combines with our spiritual genius and our collective souls or creative soul, we're able to now feel, if not see and hear, the understanding of the
emotion.
Exactly.
It's emotion. So blue is blues, green is like go, you know, you're ready to move. Red is anger. You know what I mean? They kind of showed it to us in that movie Inside Out. You know what I mean? Yellow was joy. You know what I mean? Like it's right there. So that's what we try to connect with that intro, is like he made that poem really connect to the emotions and things and the roller coaster that you was about to go through with the rest of the album.
So talk to me about this before we go to track 2. When you dim your color, you dim life. Your natural colors are the emotions that dictate your life, but in dimming them, you kill your life or your creativity. What does that mean to you as the creator of this project?
Mm. That means not being open, and that means not being vulnerable. It took a long time to create this album. It took damn near 7 years of been writing this album. While I was writing this album, I wrote two other mixtapes that's out as well. Um, and it took me so long to create this because what you said is that I was dimming my light for a long time, and I was scared to be vulnerable or scared to be emotional. You know what I'm saying? I was always ill with the pen with it. You know what I'm saying? Bars, coming up, punchlines, all that stuff. But digging in and being emotional and really sharing your story is a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? That's not being afraid of how people gonna think about you or look at you or judge you or whatever the case may be is a whole nother thing. So that's what that kind of means to me. Dimming your light is not being vulnerable and letting the world being able to connect with that emotion and be relatable.
Let's go on to track number 2, reparations. The intro to
Mhm.
reparations is also used on the Public Enemy album. Fear of a Black
Yes,
Cat,
sir.
Anti-Nigga Machine. We do what we do to survive. If a
Yes.
black person knows how to survive, then what does that mean for their life when it comes to how we create and how we celebrate our joys and pains to you?
It means everything, Karev, because it's that survival story is going to add to that joy, to the joys and the pains. Without that survival story and without going through those ups and downs, you have no story to tell. So a friend, my fuck friend, best friend, rest in peace, favorite rapper of all time, Ox used to tell me, he's like, "Yo, bro, without the rain, we can't appreciate the sun. Like if there was no rain here, we would never go, oh my God, it's a sunny day. You see how good you feel when you see a sunny day after it's been raining for a freaking week?" He said, "Yo, you know what I'm saying, that you would never experience that joy." So in a sense, it's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of relate that same thing.
Reparations, people, that's a hot topic in this country because when it comes to reparations,
Uh-huh.
people think it's people who don't deserve getting something. But to many people who are going through the pain, it is a recompense that's a biblical law to do right by the people who are done wrong. What does reparations mean to you? And is hip hop a reparation towards the black man's voice through creation?
Man, I said it in with the second verse. I said, working like a slave. I wipe my ass with the cotton they used to make us pick for days. Now I'm on my wave. It's that the whole point of that song and reparations, and also to answer your questions, was the payback. That's kind of like how I started the album. I wanted to start it with the payback. Like, the album is finally here for all my listeners and people that's been wanting an album from me. And I've been doing mixtapes up until that point because I got a lot of feedback about that. Like, yo, I need a full complete project. And also just on some rap shit to the naysayers and shit like that. And also I also related it to the payback reparations. We need to get what we deserve. Working like a slave. I work my ass off for the cotton I used to make us pick for days. Now I'm on my wave. So hands up, I'm crowd surfing the page till they throw the book at me. I'm picking cotton every day. Hey, it's all related literally to that because we need to get what we're old. Like, we fucking built the country. Like we invented everything. Shout out to my dude, O Jacobs. But yeah, we invented everything. You know what I'm saying? So definitely in that sense is definitely related to that, and that's how we started the album off.
I think the high point of the song is that the song is a statement of life within itself.
Mm-hmm.
People say I wouldn't see 16, and then you come prepared with a mean 16. That's a paraphrase.
Yes, sir.
What does it mean to you to get what you deserve? And what does it mean to take what you deserve when it has not been given?
It means more on the latter, to take. Because I'm teaching my son that. I'm teaching my son, some of the learning from my own mistakes and things that I didn't do. That ain't shit given to you in this world, bro. You gotta take it. You gotta go out there. You gotta get it. Like simple as that. Don't sit back. Like, all right. So I'll tell you this. So I relate that to this. Back in the day when we were all coming up with rap music and trying to get in and get on and things like that, you had to wait until somebody discovered you. It was always a discovered thing. It was always, you got to hope to be talented enough to go to the right talent show or to get the right eyes on you, or whatever the case may be, so you can be discovered. That's that whole mentality of waiting for it. Nowadays, it ain't that no more. You got to go get it, yo. There's platforms out here. You got to make your own career. You got to make it yourself. You got to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's DIY all day. So go get it. You know what I mean? So that's, to me, the latter is kind of a little bit more important, and that means a little bit more to me.
I respect that, because that's deep, yo. And it's
Appreciate it.
funny we're having this conversation on the day that Asada Shakur passed away.
Facts. Rest in peace. Oh my God.
Rest in peace, government named Joan Chesimard, aka the goddess Asada Shakur. May the Most High bless her spirit. And people are gonna hate us for saying that. And that, unfortunately, people died due to the colors being transcendent in people's minds and not the understanding of humanity. Which goes into the next song, The Colored Section.
That's one of my favorite songs on the LP.
The Colored Section hit me because a great rapper can have you understand the words that paint a picture, but an MC can give you a picture and make you form your own understanding off the words they're saying. You use the bus as a metaphor for the game. The back of the bus, the seats that are available, and even making your way to the front of the bus.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Oh my God. I shout out to my cousin Hemi, Uncle Hemi. This is probably the first time I've ever even really talked about him, but I owe a lot to him as far as the creation of this album. He's always, anything that I've ever written, he's always been my right hand and always been there to go. Nah, that they don't say that slang word no more. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's always been my checkpoint guy. And he was involved in a lot of creation of this album. And by you saying that line, it just brought me back to sitting in the car and creating the album with him. But as far as your question goes with that line, the story of Rosa Parks always fascinated me. It was always just so gangster how this woman just in that time just decided on this day that, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna take it no more. Like it's a wrap. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we've all been to that point. We've all had that point where we was like, you know what, I'm just not gonna take it no more. So you know, I'm big on metaphors, I'm big on double meanings, I'm big on double entendres. So I use that opportunity as, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a great way to kind of express my frustrations with not being seen and not being pushed to the front, and getting the recognitions or reparations, you know what I'm saying, no pun intended, that I deserve, and also tying in that same theme and concept of the album. And back to Hemi, he was very influential on making sure that I stayed to the concept of the record. He was huge with that. Like, yo, and that's kind of what made it take so much longer, because it was like, yo, bro, a lot of our mixtape records that we had was supposed to be on this album, but they just didn't go. So he was like, yo, we're gonna take our time and we're gonna make sure we stay to the concept of the album and make sure we stay to the theme. Shout out and much love to him.
I want to be real with you. You bringing up Rosa Parks really hit a note with me, because that's a hip hop story, if you think about it or not.
Big facts, bro.
Because Rosa Parks did not give up her seat, and it became national attention because Rosa Parks was a woman of standing. She was a woman of regard. You know, she was the secretary of NAACP. So for that to happen to her, a person of influence, people took notice.
Right.
But what about Claudette Colvin? You know her?
Wasn't she the one before Rosa Parks?
9 months before. And because she was seen as a poor black girl who was 15 years old and pregnant, she was not worthy of the attention. That's why hip hop being the force it is today is so miraculous, because it took the hurt of the youth to move things forward. And even though society tries to paint the picture, through Claudette Colvin, it inspired the upper class of the generation to make a move also. Shout out to Claudette Colvin and Rosa Parks. Rest in peace to both.
Yes, absolutely. Rest in peace.
But you gotta explain one thing to me, okay?
What up? What up? What up?
In that song, tell me about the short verse versus the school bus.
Oh,
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't heard this album, I'm telling y'all, there's some stuff on here for y'all. Go ahead, bro.
oh shit! Oh shit! Hold up. That's towards the end of the third verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I apologize. All right, so that was just at a time we was just going. It was a punchline. We was going off we was killing it, yo. Like real talk. I've been keeping 1,000 with you. And listening back to it now, I'll be like, oh shit, that's a little that's a little sensitive there. It's a little sensitive there. It's a little off the rails. But yeah, man, it's that's just wordplay and metaphors. That's all that is right there. Definitely.
You did your thing, because once again, that's a hip hop lesson for everybody who was considered less than. Now they're driving society. So the people you laughed at that was on the short bus, or the people who are being bussed somewhere else, are now the people calling the shots for the school bus to go to where it's going now.
We
Be careful.
Top shots. All you haters stand and watch. Yes, sir.
Be careful who you make fun of, because they will become your boss. And be careful of who's in power, because the people that you sleep on may overtake you one day.
That's right.
Look at society today.
This for the ones who ain't never had a shot. We taking the top spot till they haters stand and watch. I'm gonna tell you something about that too. When we dropped the beat out, remember the song? Not even remember. Of course you do. Nas Made You Look.
Of course, yeah.
And at the end, he drops the entire beat out for that bar. That was inspired by that. I was like, yo, Nas is one of my favorite MCs. He's definitely in my top 5 of all time. And when I heard that shit, I was just like, yo, that is ill, yo. Like, and let's drop it out for longer than your normal 4-bar measure. Like, you know what I mean? Let's drop it out so they can hear the entire thing, because I feel as though that's powerful. And, you know, dropping the beat out, it was definitely inspired by him. Shout out to Nas.
Yeah, salute, man. You kind of jumped to the end of the
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because that tells me I was going in the right place with these notes. Shout out to notes, y'all. Real podcasters take notes. Just let y'all know.
Facts.
Right.
Big facts.
So track 4, Warning. Tell me about Warning, and tell me about the B.I.G. reference you made in there.
Woo! Oh my God. So Warning is, oh my God, it's one of the most organic records on the album, because it was literally created all in one sitting. So we was at Big Zay house. Shout out Zay, A Squad Rebel Radio. And Zay is one of my producers, and also longtime manager of mine from when I was like 15 years old. But we were over there, me, Hemi, the whole team. Rest in peace, Drizzy. Ox, I believe, was over there too. Just fooling around. I mean, just creating music, you know what I mean? Kind of like a jam session. And this is the first time that Zay and Hemi collabed on a beat together. And Hemi never really always wanted to make beats, but this was something he actually did, old samples that he had in mind already for being him creating music together. And he brought the samples over, suggested it to them, and they created the beat right there on the spot. That beat has the Cosby Show sample in it from when they did the baby, from when they did the Ray Charles thing, I believe it is. I think that was Ray Charles, right?
Nighttime,
Nighttime, yeah. Right. That has that sample in it. We always wanted to use that as kids. So that has that sample in it, and they created the beat right then and there. The hook we came up with on the spot as well. No, I'm lying. We had that hook already with a mixtape joint that we never finished writing. And so he suggested, like, yo, that hook that you had before, remember that one we was working on? That should have go fire to that beat. That song came organically, literally the whole thing organically. The B.I.G. thing was actually not a part of the hook. We riding, We balling, we flying high to the morning. We going to the morning. We needed something to fit right there, and we kind of came up with that right then there on the spot. We wanted to sample uh, warning, but we kind of ran into a wall because we like, you know what? That sample clearance, all this shit. We accomplished getting our own beats finally on the album. So we like, you know what? We don't want no problems when we uploaded it to YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. We love you. We don't want no problems.
None,
We
none.
up, right. We don't want no problems. So we didn't use the sample, but that song came up. We came up with organically on the spot, yo. And then when I heard the beat, the rest was history. Oh my god, that second
Okay.
verse is one of my favorite verses of mine too.
We'll talk about it. Why is it one of your favorite verses, or what did you reference?
The just the punchlines and the slickness. Actually, even the first verse where I say yo, I seen it all, been through hell, made it back. Now it's time to ball. Been through. Now it's time to ball. Got possession. 3 seconds left. Hardwood floors. We was poor. That's where we slept. Screaming, "Fuck them all." Seconds the best. That basketball reference right there, and the hardwood
Classic,
floors, and oh
classic.
my god, and the 3 puts. Oh my god, yo, like that, and just I slept on the floor before, and being able to put that in there and make it so slick. It's definitely one of my lines. The second verse, it's like these haters don't get the message, like their voicemail broke or something, they'll never get it. No matter how much they twist the story or make their edits, they'll never give me credit. That's why I stick to debit. I charge G's ATM fees because I'm going to pull a card if they think they could deal with me. They better be friends with God. I'm just talking shit, to be honest with you. That verse is just a bunch of talking shit. But the way that the lines interject, charge G's ATM fees because I'm gonna pull a card if they think they could deal with me. Deal card. It's a lot of connection in that. And when me and Hemi used to sit down and create these records, he was always on me about when I rap to connect things. Don't just say just lines. Don't just say punchlines. Make sure you're connecting every single thing. Because the person that's gonna go back like you, Karev, and really appreciate you is really gonna dial back and sit back one day and go, "This motherfucker was a genius." So he's like, don't even like if they don't get it right now, don't even sweat that shit, bro. Because when they dial back, they're gonna go, "Oh shit," you know what I'm saying? So yeah. We paid attention to a lot of that. So yeah, that was the warning for sure.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. You know what cheapens music? We're flooded with it. And when you find quality, it's hard to let it go. And one of the quality things that our people have always had that worked in our favor is beats,
Right.
understanding, and spiritual connection. Song number 5 is called Footsteps. And this is you and God having that conversation. Talk to me about that song.
Oh my gosh. That one, when I said the vulnerability piece earlier, that would be one of the ones. That one and the next one after it is really when I dialed in. Footsteps was literally, I don't know if you've heard, of course you did. Everyone's heard the story about the well, not even a story, everybody has that poster or thing in their house where it tells the story of God carrying you through the footsteps and you're walking on the sand and he didn't see the footsteps, whatever the case may be. God, um, praise be to Jesus. But I kind of wanted to embody that in the record because I always felt as though no matter what, he was there. Um, the hook, as you said, is him kind of like talking to me, and I'm kind of responding. It must have been you. It must have been God. It must have been fame. It must have been stars. So each verse is kind of like just detailing how blessed I am and how much I've noticed that he's been there, no matter through what, and that's through anybody's life. Like no matter how bad you think it is, you always can look and go, shit, somebody got it much worse. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be, you know what I'm saying? I need to count my blessings no matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like so it was definitely kind of definitely in that range, not kind of, definitely for sure in that range where I was trying to just basically detail those footsteps and embody that story in that poster in music.
Deep, very deep. But let's go a little deeper into that.
Okay.
That's the story of Black people, period. There's a comic book named Black. Have you ever read the comic book Black?
No.
Black was a comic book about how Black people were the only people born with superpowers, and they will only come out during death or like the transition into death, because that was their salvation. And lynchings happened in American history because people wanted to collect Black people who had powers to put them under subjection to them. And on the cover of the book, right, it was the Black man through the many stages of life. The slave, the soldier, with the fro and everything to today's thug / criminal, right?
Right.
And if you look at the story and the paradigm of the boy, the slave to the man the men we are today, if it wasn't for God's steps, evolution to the character of survival would never have been there. Why do Black people always turn to God more than anything else, in your opinion?
Because who else you gonna turn to? Like for me, I don't even speak for me. Like who else you gonna turn to? Like if you truly believe that he's in control, like who else you gonna turn to? There's nobody else really to turn to unless you believe in the other guy. So I believe Black people, that's our salvation. That's and that goes for any God that you believe in, Allah, that Hindu, Buddha. It doesn't matter. Like what I mean. That's our salvation. So it's kind of like your light at the end of the tunnel. For me, I speak to God about everything. Like everything, like regular stuff. Like, what am I wearing today? Like, yo, what's my footsteps today? What my day look like, big homie? Like, we talk on some like that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's if you choose to listen, it's that voice in your head that's already there. You just got to choose to listen and choose to talk back to it and get answers from it. That's all.
But you know what's real, yo? God is so taboo that now our own people are fighting to keep the taboo relevant rather than let it go.
What you mean by taboo?
Okay. Do people talk about God on a high level in society?
Oh, that's what you mean by taboo. Like, right. Okay.
Not us, just not just God being there. But I mean, like, come on, man, you got gospel rap. And then people will say, I'm not listening to it because you're talking about God, not giving it a chance. Then you got people who do gospel rap that don't talk about nothing. Pardon my language. They don't talk about shit. Right. All they do is talk and then put God in it, and it's supposed to sound good.
See, I was just about to say that. I would disagree with you saying that God is taboo, because they are talking about him. It's just not in a positive light.
That's what I'm saying. So having faith, it's funny to me that it's not a tangent. This still goes with the song, y'all.
Of course it does. Yeah, this ain't a tangent.
It's funny how Islam is a pillar in hip hop, but Christianity is a byproduct when it comes to hip hop. It's an
right.
And I always looked at that like, why is that what it is? And I know for a fact that, especially in New Jersey, a lot of people turn to the Nation of Islam because they didn't like the nonviolence of the SCLC and SNCC. So they wasn't really beat for getting their heads beaten. So when Islam came and people had power, it was like, yo, I'm going to be Muslim. And the Muslim thing went through North New Jersey, especially as a rush. And people had a new identity. But now they felt like they were a part of a movement. Nation. It was militant. But God wasn't the purpose of it. It was social and political power.
Right.
So with hip hop, when you talk about God, people think a lot of Christians are weak. Remember, Nori, F you and your weak religion. People always went there. So then when you talk about God in your hip hop, it's really taboo because people will always talk about being the gangster, the drug dealer, the person who has all the sex or who takes the best drugs. But very rarely will people say, I need this one entity. I need God. There's something higher than me that moves me to my next level. And I
Right.
applaud you for that. That's why that's
Thank
one
you.
of I love this project.
Thank you. I appreciate that. DMX taught me that God ain't soft. DMX taught me that Jesus ain't soft. You know what I mean? And it ain't soft to believe and shout his name in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because if you deny his name in front of everybody, he'll deny you in front of his father. You know what I'm saying? So DMX taught me that. Like that, he gave me the courage. 1000% listening to his albums going, yo, oh my God, this is what I've been wanting to say the entire time, but I just didn't know how to say it or didn't have the courage to say it because the climate of the industry or the climate of the music was dictating me to say this. And he gave me the courage to really say, you know what I'm saying? Him and Ox, rest in peace. It's just like, yo, bro, like, why not? Like, that's what you believe in. That's what you believe in. Say what you believe in, period. So shout out to DMX, big time, for sure. Big influence.
Shout out to my dude B. Lou of the block. And what his favorite line? R.I.P. the dog.
Yes.
Let's go to, since you brought up Ox, let's talk about track number 6, Differences. Tell me this. Tell me about Ox, man. Tell me about his rhyme history and how he was different from others. Tell me about him.
Well, it's kind of in there. What I say, make some noise. What I say, made some noise with the crew. I mentioned the crew got the. All right, so let me take it back. So I was 15 when I met Ox. He lived across the street from me on 18th Avenue on the Westward of Newark. And he's also an artist as well. We went to school together in Myrtle Avenue. I met him when I was in 7th grade. And immediately we clicked as far as music. Back then I was in a group called Sometimes Why. And actually, shout out to Big Seven from Time to Grind. He was our writer and one of our managers as well at the time too. And Hodge the Ripper. Um, so once that didn't pan out, we had a deal with Sony, and my mom basically kicked me out the group because she was like, she wanted me to stay in school and not sign with a record label. I could have been signed at 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Me and Ox started making music. From there, make a long story short, we had another homie that lived around the corner from us. His name was D. Shorn, and we formed a group called Necessary Roughness. And also with my man Audie, with BHN Entertainment, 100% as well. It was 4 of us at the time. Once Audie ended up doing his thing with Wyclef, it was 3 of us. So around 16, 17 years old, we did a whole tour in New Jersey with Big Zay because I met up with Zay at that time. I'm trying to give you the short version. He's way longer than that. But basically, me and Ox, man, that's my best friend. I've known him basically since I was 15 years old. We have done everything together from demos to rapping and battling at the Pipeline. Ox ended up striking a major deal with Dr. Dre. He ended up starring in 8 Mile. He was Lotto in 8 Mile. And he ended up doing his thing with that. We ended up going on a mixtape tour where I was his hype man, and Vertical Jones, shout out to my man Mike. Vertical Jones was on the tour with us as well. He also produced for Ox. And man, it was a time, bro. It was definitely a time. We did a lot of music together. Shout out to Young Zoc, that's Ox's son. He's the inspiration for a lot of the things that I do in a lot of music, man. He taught me a lot as far as music and how to create a song and how to really resonate and be vulnerable. He's a lot of the energy and a lot of the peace to Chief Bali. Real talk.
See, pain, rap, and telling your story, but commanding the outcome of the story is very spiritual. Because just like you said, you tell your son, you're telling your son, no one's going to give you things. You got to take things. That's the first commandment in the Bible. That's biblical principle. Be fruitful and multiply. Re-subdue the earth and take it under your subjection, which means the life you're given, you have to make it what you want it to be. And unfortunately, we don't really get that from birth, but we get it through our influences. So if Ox is one of your biggest influences, how do you keep him alive to show the world, fuck 8 Mile, I can show you the real him, because that's just a movie?
Through his music. One of the I had the radio show, the Bali Hour, for the last 7 to 8 years. We was on season 12. Don't worry, season 13 is coming, motherfuckers. Don't you worry. But um, one of the reasons I did that show and decided to start a radio show is because me and him used to, when we were 14, 15 years old, used to record Red Alert on our tape player and pretend that we were radio hosts in the crib. So I'm like, like I got tapes that are still now, Karev, to this day. With us on there pretending we're radio hosts or whatever the case may be, and then playing our demos and playing our music in between the regular guru and regular music that came on the Red Alert show at nighttime. So I always thought to myself, you know, if I ever get my own radio show, I'm gonna play our music. I'm gonna bump our music like crazy. So when I got the radio show, I made it my freaking business to play his music all the time, every freaking chance I got. So that was very, very important to me to represent him in that sense. And then also through my music, man, I'm always talk about my guy. I'm always point him out. I'm always represent him. I'm always give him, you know, the love that he deserves, 1000%.
So let me ask you this question, because
Yep.
in Jersey hip hop history, we have many greats that were never heard because of bad contracts,
Right.
drugs, the streets, politics,
Right.
gatekeeping, bullshit.
Big facts.
If you and Ox had a chance to make an album together, what would that album be to you, and how would it further explain to you how dope TheColoredSection is by showing the world with your best friend who you are and the many colors of your emotions?
Yo, that's so crazy that you say that too, because as much music and demos and stuff we made together, it never came up once that, yo, finally, me and you just need to make an album. And it was always something I wanted to bring up to him, but for God rest his soul, I never got the chance to before he passed away. We always was so involved in different projects and things like that. But man, it would have meant everything. And when I tell you, MCs, y'all motherfuckers will be in trouble. Like, whoa, in trouble. Jesus Christ. But yeah, man, that would have meant everything to me. It would have just definitely been icing on the cake and the top to our long and storied friendship and career. Big time.
Well, rest in peace to Ox. Shout out to young Zoc, and shout out to his mother too, because they keep his legacy alive.
Absolutely.
And I respect both of them. Y'all both have my respect. And I heard Zoc going crazy. He might have something coming out that's going to change the game. I heard he might.
Yo, my nephew is a fucking problem. Been a problem since a baby. Yo, bro, like I remember babysitting him at 2-3 years old, and he trying to emulate his dad rapping, like trying to about sing the songs that we was playing from his dad. Yo, so he been ready. Yo, real talk. Yo, shout out to my family for real.
All right, let's go to Malcolm X. Track number. I want you to explain this one to me out of your own mouth and all your own emotions. Because by any means necessary is the theme, but do people really understand by any means necessary?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
Second verse. You know what's crazy about this song? I think I shared this with you too, privately. That's actually one of my least favorite songs on the album. And I told you that. You was like, why? Because I felt as though I don't know. I felt as though it wasn't me. Like the way I rapped the record, I felt as though it could have been, my own personal grudge against the record, my own personal critique. But if you really listen to the record, I'm talking about life on a basic level, going to work, paying the bills, paying the cable bills, the things that quote unquote civilians and not people in the streets have to survive and have to go through every day by any means necessary. And the thing is with that is that we get so wrapped up in hip hop and the street guy and the drug dealer and his story. But what about the hardworking guy? What about the regular guy that's going to work that don't want to commit no crimes? What about his struggle? Because he go to work every single day and see the drug dealer on the corner that's making $1,000 real quick and fast. And he got to go deal with this 9-to-5 ass motherfucker breathing down his back, making $15 or $20 an hour and learning how to stretch that check to come home to feed five mouths. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about that motherfucking story? That's a hard ass story to me. And that's always been a hard ass story. To me, the working man is the motherfucker that's going through it the most. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's no disrespect to anybody that's out there that, you know, drug dealing or doing what they got to do to get it. But I don't know. In my mind, when I was growing up, I'm like, yo, to me, that's kind of like the easy way out. I could easily go re-up and go get a jump. And there's plenty of motherfuckers out here I could go out in the corner and make this money. You know what I'm saying? But to go suck it up every fucking day and do this by any means necessary and going to work every fucking day and knowing I'm not getting paid what I'm fucking worth, but still putting up with it just to stay legal and stay on the straight path. It's a lot to that shit, yo. And that takes a lot of fucking heart. So that song is literally about that and about sucking it up and doing what you got to do by any means necessary.
And you don't feel as you've matured as a man and as an MC, that song means something to you?
Nowadays, yeah, absolutely. Back then, when I was making it, nah. But nowadays, growing up and having more experience over the 10 years, yeah, 1000%. Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the midpoint of the interview. So if you like what you're hearing, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share. Hit
Please.
the $, Hip Hop, and check out the album, The Colored Section. How we doing, man? We cooking or what? How you like the interview so far?
Bali, I love it. Yo, it's dope. You're definitely dialing into a lot of themes and different, might I say, colors that I've always wanted to touch on and talk about. So this is great.
All right, so we're gonna pick up now. Welcome back to the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. We had a break, but now we're gonna really get into some things. High Notes featuring Radio. Radio is one of the voices of New Jersey that we don't know too much.
Woo.
Am I lying?
Nah, shout out to Radio. He produced majority of the album.
So let's talk about Radio and High Notes. How important is Radio to the fabric of New Jersey hip hop culture to you?
Bro, oh my God. Very important. So here's the thing. Radio helped me understand the difference. Not even gonna just say Radio, because they did too. But they're probably the only producers I've worked with. And I've worked with a lot of producers that helped me understand what a producer versus a beat maker is.
Oh, that's big. Well, please go into that.
Oh, it's such a big difference. So a beat maker, I make you a beat, you go in the studio, you record the beat over it. I mean, you record your verse over it, and that's pretty much it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Producer, however, is invested into how you sound over his beat.
Talk about
tone, texture, ad libs, even sometimes what you're saying. Like, he was so instrumental in making sure that I got my message across the right way on this album. Like, I don't think Colored Section could have been anything without him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he made most of the beats on the album. But that High Notes beat, he actually did not make. My man Rich Camacho, shout out Square, who's also on the Movement, gave me that beat. And that beat is a sample of Eric Benet singing a kind of like a scat. And the beat barely has a drum. So he sent me that beat because it was supposed to go on his album, but he couldn't figure out what to do with it. He was like, yo, I don't know what to do with it. Immediately, Karev, the moment he sent it to me, I said, done. Send it to me right now. It's done. I came up with that hook the night he sent that to me. And the cool thing about that hook is it's a double entendre because the song is about snitching. The song is about telling.
Yeah.
And you know, I used to watch a lot of gangster movies, and old gangster movies, they used to say, if you talk, you're singing on somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I use that kind of like as the metaphor in the song where it's a singing. And also it's a kind of a triple entendre because around the time Drake was coming up, and there was a lot of singing and rap and a lot of singing and that crossover sound that you hear a lot now today was starting to really come into the forefront. So remember, guys, this album was made in 2015. So a lot of that was just starting to come into play. So it's kind of a triple entendre where I'm saying is a lot of singing and rap too, but also niggas are singing too at the same time. And also they're singing in the beat. And then also, if you listen to the rhymes, I'm mentioning singers in the rhymes. Layla Hathaway, I think I said, damn. Somebody, fuck, it escapes me at the moment. But I'm also mentioning singers in the verse. Keep sweating my nuts, put me in cuffs, things like that. So yeah, it's very, it's kind of, the song has a lot of layers. But yo, radio, to answer your question, super instrumental because, like I said, it's such a difference between beat makers and producers, and he has definitely produced a lot of the artists, such as myself, and made sure that sounds come across sonically the way that they're supposed to. Shout out to him.
Interviewing you and talking about this song now gives me another appreciation for the song because hip hop is about music, but it's a culture. But when you give people the opportunity to get into your culture, now snitching or hitting high notes and singing has become part of the culture where it wasn't before. Because now
Right.
people don't talk about the music, they talk about the stories. They talk about the stuff that has nothing to do with the culture itself. Is now scandal or who's a criminal or murder. It's disgusting, actually.
Yeah, it is very much so. Very
Cause yo,
much so.
remember when you were younger and you got an album and you heard, oh, look at that beat. What did they sample? You heard what he said. Now
Word.
I saw a whole show that was only 6 minutes long. Talk about did Mace's jaw get broken by Ghostface? And the only thing they talked about music wise was the song Malcolm from Supreme.
Oh God.
And then they showed Joe Button getting punched in the face by, or the picture of the aftermath of him getting punched in the face.
It's about
No
scandal.
Yeah, no disrespect to nobody and anything I'm bringing up, by the way. I just don't like how it's good to get inside information for, entertainment purposes and all that, but it's not good when that becomes the main aspect of what people want you to believe your culture is.
Yeah, yeah. I could get with you on that. Shout out and again, no disrespect to anybody, but I was listening to Offset album recently, and it's kind of makes me think of that. By the way, Kyrie is a really, really good project. It's a very good project. Um, However, to your point, is not like there's no lines I can point out and go, oh, yo, like you just said, like back in the day we used to go, yo, that line was fire. Yo, he said this. But however, I can tell you the song where he went off on Cardi about their personal business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it speaks to what you just said. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to him, because that song is actually one of the illest songs on there with John Legend. But to your point, that's not what I used to listen to the music for. You know what I'm saying? I used to try to listen to it to be inspired, to hear those lines and go, oh shit, yo, you heard what he said? Oh, Nas was a gun. Oh shit. Like, yo, he rapped the whole shit backwards. Are you kidding me? You feel me? Like that, it sometimes feels like that is gone.
Yeah. Shout out to the real MCs that keep it going on.
Big
Let's
facts.
talk about the movement.
Oh, emotional. That here we go to the crying part of the interview. All right, go ahead.
Well, lean into it. Tell me about the feature artist and what does that song mean to you?
Well, the song means a lot to me because my great grandmother passed the day that I recorded that record.
Wow.
She was 102 years old, and I literally left the funeral. Well, not left the funeral, but the funeral was over. I went to the repast and recorded it in my clothes from the funeral directly right after it.
So you was just like a civil rights worker, basically.
Yes. Yes.
Because it goes with the song.
Yeah. I went straight there. The end of my verse was not written until I got to the studio. So bury my grandmother the same day she was born. 102, her memory is living on. Gone. I didn't literally write that until I got there because I just left the funeral. And Yeah, man, that song is that's so emotional because it was it was so many things going through me. Like you could hear the pain in my voice on that record. When I start the record and I kind of crack a little bit. And that was basically from crying and being upset and radio. I wanted to change that. Radio was like, nah. He was like, hell no. Here goes that producing again. He's like, nope, keep that. He's like, that's pain. Keep that. He's like, all that you feel, we need to hear that in your voice. He's like, this is the first record where you can feel the pain. Like everything else sounded really technical and kind of like really like on point to that point, but on that record, he's like, bro, you can really hear the pain through and it's magnetizing through the verse. Another thing about that song is too, I knew that I wanted Rich on the album because that was a rhyme partner of mine and best friend and brother of mine for years, and we've done many projects together. And if you get a chance, you need to check out Everything's Eventual. It's a great album from him as well too. But when we were creating the record, I was like, yo, we done a lot of records where we just rapping. We don't did shows together. I need something meaningful from both of us. I need something that's gonna resonate with people and you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about something. So we came up with the song The Movement because of the sample in the beginning. It sound like he was calling, he was creating a movement. He was calling a rise to the people. He was creating, you know what I'm saying, not a riot, but it was a stand up moment. He even said, stand up. So I said, you know what? What moves you? I told him, what moves you? I need you to talk about what moves you. What is your movement? What creates your movement? What gets you up every day? And then I said, I'm gonna talk about my movement. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to take it there because there's a slang word for the movement and it makes you think we're talking about our crew. But I'm like, no, we're gonna take it in another direction. I want to talk about what's the movement, what moves us, what makes us move every day. You know what I'm saying? And through my verse, I take you through talking shit about myself, and then but also I'm talking about my grandmother at the end. I'm talking about my friends in the beginning. Aha, shout out to the haters, the ones who said Ox wouldn't make it, the naysayers, and Ox's name is Nation. So that's kind of like a double punchline. The ones who said Ox wouldn't make it, the naysayers, the ones who said get rid of Drizzy, he stays scheming. Drizzy, who was my boy Dre, rest in peace, um, used to be kind of slick with the hands as far as like little sticky fingers back in the day. But the ones who said get rid of Drizzy, he stay scheming, he stay gaming, but we ain't playing. Came through in a crutch, they the crutch when I came through in the clutch, they the crutch when I sprain it. My movement so concrete, we chase pavements. So it's literally just taking my hat off to everybody that's been with me up until this point and still a part of my movement and part of the reason why I'm still here to this day and still doing what I do.
So
Sorry if I was so long-winded.
No, that's dope. Part of this song talks about righteousness, right? Let's talk about righteousness because righteousness comes with change and being called a hypocrite.
Mm.
Part of righteousness is being in one phase of your life and going to the next phase of your life. Why do people go get, in your opinion, especially with hip hop? Because I heard Havoc of Mobb Deep say people got mad when Mobb Deep signed with G Unit because they sold out and went to a bigger audience or a white audience. And whenever you get better at something or you better your life, you tend to leave things behind. Even as a rapper, your style may get different or it may change, but there's certain things you leave behind in your rhyme so you can elevate as an artist. Why is righteousness such a hated thing when it comes to creativity to you?
Mm. I wouldn't say it's a hated thing for me.
Okay.
I would just say that it forces you to come out of your comfort zone and it forces you to think a little bit more. Because the thing is that I think I mentioned this earlier. Punchlines and things like that, and talking about how ill you are, how bad you are, how many bitches you get, and things like that. That's for me personally. That's easy. Like you could do that any day. I could do that shit with my eyes closed. Um, but really getting vulnerable and really resonating and being righteous per se takes a lot more. It stretches you a lot more. Pause. Like You have to give of yourself a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna leave that right there because to give yourself to something, you have to have a mental gymnastic and a spiritual battle about it. That leads to many conversations. See how I did that?
Yeah. Conversations. Let's go.
Conversations featuring Queen Ella Jersey. And the notes I have for this is hope, life, and growth through circumstances. Tell me about that.
That song with Queen Ella, shout out to Big Zay again. He put that whole record together. He created the beat. He got the feature on it. At the time, I was doing a joint project with Jersey Hope and also Fonto Leaf. Shout out to them, Squad 2.0. So that song was supposed to go on the 2.0 project, but it didn't have Fonto Leaf on it. And Zay wanted all three of us to be on the record. So I was like, yo, this record is bananas. I'm not just letting it slide. Like, it goes with my album. Like, I'm not letting it slide. So eventually he let me have it. The Conversations record, it came from the fact that one day we was having like a mental powwow just in the crib, smoking blunt, let's just talking about life. And Zay was like, yo, y'all should make a song like this. Whereas we just talking about shit that don't happen in our life, and we kind of just getting deep and just and really just inspiring the world off of basically a regular conversation, kind of like barbershop talk. So that's pretty much where that song came from. You know what I mean? I had the verse already off of a freestyle that I did off of the Exhibit C beat by J Electronica. But I rewrote it and fixed it so it can kind of like, because it was old, so I kind of like added more things that were more relatable and things that were going on now to this day to make it more up to date. But yeah, that's where that song came from. You know, it came from literally a powwow session, sitting in the crib and having conversations and being vulnerable with each other and sharing stories.
Let's pause on this real quick. Now let's
Yeah.
talk about something, because Zay is a name you've been bringing up throughout this album, and I don't want to keep going through this conversation. You won't give Zay proper respect.
Absolutely.
What does A Squad, Rebel Radio, and Big Zay mean to Chief Bali? And how does Chief Bali honor them by continuing to make music?
Oh, everything, man. Like I said, Zay been there with me since I was 15 years old. I remember him getting me out of high school so we could shoot a music video. My mom and the whole shit. So everything. I'm dialed into that movement as much as I'm dialed into mine. I believe on one of the records I say, because they said if I make it, Chief Bali, we all did, which is what I believe in. You know what I mean? He represents me, I represent him, and you know what I'm saying, we make sure that it keeps moving. So, and he had, like I said, he had a lot of hands in this album as far as producing and making sure it's the same thing with him, stayed on the right path as far as the concept. So for sure.
Too easy. Too easy.
Plug this phone in because I'm losing power. Go ahead, though. I hear you.
Too easy. You grew with him, and thank God y'all got like the Lil Wayne Birdman situation, because they ain't never kiss you in the mouth and shit.
No.
So let's be real. Zay is one of the hardest working men that ever had a dream. On our conversations, you talk about things like hope, life, and growth through circumstances. Tell me one circumstance where you saw his greatness and it elevated you to become an MC, not just a rapper.
I tell you, it elevated me to work harder. Zay, when we was in my group, Necessary Roughness, when I tell you this guy would put everything on the line to the point where he wasn't even paying his rent to make sure that we performed in certain shows because he knew we would win and he would get his money back from the winnings. He did that more than 3 or 4 times over. And believing in us and having somebody that believed in us like that truly was inspiring for me as a kid. And to be honest with you, if I didn't have that at the time, I probably would have stopped rapping a long time ago. Like a long time ago. big time. He taught me also how to write back in the day, how to make hooks, how to back then perform, definitely performing piece, big time. And yeah, just is really instrumental to a lot of the things in the way Chief Bali came up and created Chief Bali. He was there through the K Styles, through the Mr. Nice Guy. Those were all old names of mine. He was there through all of those times. So without him, those building blocks, Chief Bali probably would never ever be here. 1000%.
Salute to Big Zay.
Shout out A Squad Rebel Radio.
10 years this album has been up. And 10 years.
10 buckets.
10 years of thankfulness. We're gonna go through this album. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this. We're almost finished with the album, but we're not ending on the questions and the understanding. One of my favorite songs a personal heritage hip hop has ever done is Color Scheme.
Ah, thank you, sir.
Let's go into this and break this one down. This is my personally, I don't even know if this is my favorite song on here. I don't. I really don't, because it's many. It's a couple songs on here that really stand out to me. And this one, everybody knows the "Cop Shot the Kid" song with Nas and Kanye, but you have samples and things on here that other people have used monotonously, and they follow your pattern. Am I wrong? Am I lying?
Nope, not lying.
Not at all. This might be the first album that used a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Might be. And, cops put a hurting on your ass. He's resisting arrest and all that. You know what I'm saying? But I like how you use a hell of a lot of color references throughout the song to make the point of the album. Tell me about the creativity and how the color matched the rhyme in this song.
Oh my God, that one. All right, so this was definitely how we kind of constructed the intro, because I told you the intro was made last. Mm-hmm. So upon hearing that first verse, and how I connected the colors, red, daddy took the chocolate, red for the bricks and the projects, just those emotions and those colors, being able to connect them to certain things. I wanted to really kind of like paint a picture. So like, upon not listening to the verse, when you see those colors, for the people that I grew up with, red for the bricks and the projects, that off top. Eyes purple violet. My dad coming to tuck me in, or my mom's coming to tuck me in because they just had a night on the town and their eyes is red. You know what I'm saying? Black Betty. She was and my brother, my uncle drove a silver Chevy. Like, and that's real shit. My uncle, rest in peace. He had the ill ass fucking cat Chevy that used to come and pick us up playing Steady All You Red. Like, a lot of that stuff in that verse is 1000% real, to the point where I could pinpoint it. So I really wanted to kind of paint that picture and bring that emotion to the surface, and also bring the listener into a little bit of my life as well too. Rev, I gotta connect my phone. My battery about to die. I gotta make sure we don't disconnect. So give me 2 seconds. Let me grab my battery. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
I want to really talk about this song a little more. Shout out to Syl Johnson. A lot of people don't understand how the music and hip hop came about, and it was inspired by our ancestors. Shout out to James Brown. Shout out to Curtis Mayfield. And shout out to Syl Johnson, because if it wasn't for the RZA, I don't think people would have fully understood Syl Johnson. And you finding this beat and having this record, I want to ask you, what did the hook say to you when you heard it as you were putting this song together?
The line that said, "Only showed the colors of my tears." That line right there is what sold it up for me and said, I'm using this. I don't know, it was something about that line, the colors of my tears. I'm big on words, and I'm big on metaphors and expressing yourself through words. Like, I'm big on one sentence meaning a paragraph. You know what I mean? So that line right there, I don't know, it was something about Only to show the colors in my It was something about that right there. It was just like, oh my God, yo, like it just embodied so much for me and it just said so much. So and also the emotion behind that, the hook and hearing her voice and the emotion on the record spoke a lot to me too. But it was something about that line. Is it because I'm black? And then black is a color. So me in my head call it overthinking. Just was just like, yo, oh my God, there's so much in this hook. It's just freaking perfect, yo. It's all I gotta do is just line up the colors. It kind of spoke to me as a scheme. Like as a color scheme.
It's funny how the theme of this album 10 years ago, Barack Obama being the president, and you
Right.
saying in the song how he wasn't able to do things,
Yeah.
maybe because of the color of his skin, to now look what's being done for people by the color of their skin.
Mm.
Very disheartening, but very telling at the same time. I'm not
Mm.
political. We're not going to talk about assassinations and all that because we all know that's some bullshit. No
Right.
one deserves to be killed. But if you look at the rhetoric being spun and what 10 years ago the rhetoric was that was starting to be spun, we see that unless you really stand for something, you will fall for the banana in the tailpipe, or most importantly, no, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Bro. Bro, that's why I started when we first started this interview. I said, yo, like, I don't know. The climate right now it kind of feels like color section too. Like there's there's a lot to talk about now, bro. Like,
You are not lying, my man.
word.
Let's go to track 13, For the Love. I love this because it's melodic. And when you sing I got my shit together, that's like a man truly understanding that life is more than what he entertains himself with. Life is more than just the struggle. It's about the goals and the legacy. Talk to me about that song.
Yeah, so that last song, For the Love / TY versus LY. TY is this year versus last year. And it's a retail term. I've been doing retail pretty much all my life, management. So one day I seen that shit on a report and I was like, oh, that's kind of ill. Well, that's kind of dope. Um, and it kind of set up the verses in the song because if you hear the first verse, last year I couldn't book a venue. This year I can't read the menu. It's detailing how I went from one point in my life last year. It's growth, basically. The entire song is about growth mindset. I got my shit together. Um, Better now or never. The entire song is about growth mindset and becoming better and being happy with the person you become, and also accepting the person that you are to become because we're not done growing. We're not finished. So that song right there kind of embodies the rest of the album, where it's just so up to I took you through this entire journey to let you know that at the end of it all, I'm still growing and we all are at the same exact time. And don't be afraid of the person that you're gonna become.
The grind does pay off in the end,
Absolutely.
but it depends on what you're grinding for. Because see, victory is not in the eye of the beholder. Victory is in the plan that you set. Because a
Mhm.
man that fails to plan plans to fail. And
Right.
if you're planning for money, there'll always be somebody with more money. If you're planning for notoriety, as soon as something new comes, they're going to forget you. But if you plan for peace, if you plan for your spirit, if you plan for individual or satisfaction, as soon as you get satisfied, not only can you feel good, you can pivot and say that I did that and you see the fruits of your labor. You agree?
Big facts. Big facts, Rev. Big facts. Totally agree.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. For me, this is where the album ended. Are the last three songs bonus tracks?
Yes, they are. Yes. Well, not the beat flip in For the Love. When the beat flips, that's why it's called This Year, Last Year, For the Love. For the Love is the second part of that beat when I do that freestyle verse. Well, I wouldn't call it a freestyle verse, but yeah, that's officially the end of the album. As a matter of fact, when we release it on streaming very soon, the album's gonna end there. I'm not including the bonus tracks because that's how it. I feel as though I want the world to hear how it's intended to get the concept of the album, because that's where it officially stops. It's right there. The other three, yes, are bonus tracks. Absolutely.
Do you want to go through those, or you're done right here? Because since you're going to re-release it and stop it there, do you want to stop there?
Well, I would like to talk about the Date with Destiny track.
Well, let's talk about Date with Destiny. That's the final on this version, track 16. Talk to me about the Date with Destiny and what you wanted to hit on that song.
Remember the J. Cole record? I believe he freestyled over that record, that beat. I can't remember what the freestyle was, but he used that beat a long time ago, and I'm in love with Lauryn Hill. I've always liked Miseducation, so when I heard that beat, it inspired me to write. The Date with Destiny record came because at the time when I wrote it, I felt as though I was a little down. I'm not even gonna lie. I was a little down, and I was kind of like non-believing that anything was gonna happen, and I was kind of doubting a lot of things that was going on in my life musically. I've had a lot of periods where I've stopped making music. I've gotten a writer's block. Shit, I'm in one right now, kind of sort of. But the Date with Destiny thing was just me, kind of like in a clever way, um, reassuring myself that it's all worth it. Pretty much. It's nothing else complicated about it. I just did it in a clever way where I made it sound like it's a girl. I, rapped on it because I rap. I love wordplay, like as I mentioned before. But some of my songs, real talk, are therapy to myself. Whereas I'm kind of talking to myself and kind of reassuring myself and self therapy to myself, where I'm in the chair and I'm kind of telling myself that, yo, dog, snap the fuck out of it. Like, snap the fuck out of it. It's worth it. So that's literally what that song was about.
I want to go deeper into that song because that song is a little more punctual than you think. Did you know the midlife crisis is a biblical thing as well?
No.
So in Proverbs and also in the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, it talks about how a man's life will change due to a woman, money, knowledge. And if you think about how a man holds the things that's important to him, they're always feminine. Your girl, your car is your girl. You know,
Your
a man,
dog.
yeah, a pirate ship was a woman, a girl, to the point where the Bible says, well, of everything, get wisdom, and wisdom is your girl. You
Wow.
feel me? So, as a man, you always measure yourself by the woman you're with. Corey Holcomb says, you know the type of woman you have by your salary, right? Right? Now I was being real. And then you have the man who caters to his desires. He becomes the man of value through his wealth. And he's attractive from his provision.
Right.
As an MC, your Date with Destiny is what to you? How you provide the music or how you stand on your word and having a value based on your sound?
It would be the latter. It's how I stand on my word to deliver as a vessel for God. Shout out to Ox. He always told me that, bro, we are vessels. Like we're just mouthpieces, and we're supposed to be using our talent to spread what God is saying, and we're supposed to be spreading the word. And that doesn't necessarily mean quoting the Bible 100%, and but spreading through the word through the way Jesus and the way He uses us as a vessel to speak to the people. So I've always carried that with me and always thought to myself, you know what I mean, I'm doing God's work. So rather whatever it may be, me talking through my music, it's literally a vessel, and I speak through him, and he speaks through me, I should say.
Shout out to hip hop, because if it wasn't for hip hop music, how would we have these conversations?
Absolutely. What love to hip hop, yo. Absolutely.
Let's talk something current event.
Real talk.
Does not get to, because I don't want you canceled. But let's talk current event. In regards to this and the erasure of the competency of quote unquote black culture, indigenous black culture, um, um, transatlantic black culture, we see the enemy turn on itself. It isolates itself from people that's from its own lineage. Not calling everybody equal, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Kimmel got canceled, and then the world rebutted, and Disney lost like what, $1 billion, $4 billion.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel got rehired, and he booked Public Enemy to be his musical guest.
Yep.
Hip hop has an enduring message that can speak for a lot of people, not just black people. When the world hears this album, what do you want the world to say as a big middle finger to, excuse me, let me get his name, as a big middle finger to Johann Friedrich Blumenbach and the five race theory? What do you want?
The middle finger would be, oh my God, it's a line. Hold up. This for the ones who ain't never had a shot. We taking the top spot till the haters stand and watch. Period. That's it. Middle finger to you, motherfucker. Like you try to put us in a section. You try to group us off, but at the end of the day, we gonna make it, and we all the same. We gonna make it, rather if you like it or not. Period. Yep.
We gonna make it. We gonna
We
make it.
gonna make it.
That's what I'm talking about. I think that's the perfect way to end this conversation on the color section. Because at the end of the day, this is the first time I ever reviewed an album that was 10 years old.
Yo, wow, that's an honor.
Record.
Wow.
So
Wow,
yo,
that's an honor.
tell
Bro,
people where this album's going, man. Tell them
bro,
what's up. Let them know.
I still can't believe that this shit is 10 years old. Right now, you can get this at right now on SoundCloud. It's totally free. You can get it on SoundCloud, but don't you worry. It's going to be on DSPs. By the end of October, it's going to be on everything. Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. It will be everywhere. You will be able to get it. I'm also working on remastering it as well, too, so it can sound nice and crisp and fresh. And of course, new music is coming. New music is coming. I got something coming out with Stress 973 on that Taliban Thai album coming out. And you know the feature killer is here. It's Chief Bali in the motherfucking building. Always. Belly!
The feature killer. He's not lying, because rest in peace to my man Deuce H. Wood the fifth. You smoked it. I heard people say, yo, that was verse of the year, yo. You gotta give him an award for that. It's talking to me heavy. And I'm challenging you personally. And I want you to clip this and send it to Stress and Notes 82. I want an official heritage hip hop song with y'all three on it.
Oh,
I want to put it out. Now, I've been trying to do this for years, and people took beats and never gave me songs on it, and I paid for beats. Y'all know who y'all are. Let me tell you something. I want an official heritage hip hop song with Notes 82, Stress, and Chief Bali. I want to shoot a video, and I want to put it out there with my Fleet DJ family, and I want that to be off the record.
Oh, it's a wrap, bro. Let's do it. Done.
So yeah,
Done.
yeah, and I'm challenging Stress. I don't want no loop samples. I want something hard and original, pause, and I want something that's gonna really make people look at y'all to be the great artist I believe you to be. Because ladies and gentlemen, thoughts change, but beliefs are the principles in which we run our life. And these gentlemen, and especially this MC right here, I tell him all the time, I want him produced because I think there's something in his skill set that y'all haven't gotten, and that when he sees it, he'll realize how important his voice is. I know that he's just a nice guy who can rhyme or be nice. But that's for later. Thank you for joining us on Off the Record, where we look at albums. Wait. You gave him your social media? I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad. At 420 Chief, that's CHEEF on Instagram, or you can hit me up on the Gmail, CHEIF, that's Chief420 at gmail.com. Or on the Facebook, that's Chief Bali, CHEEFBALI. on the TikTok, 420 Chief. I'm there. Hit me wherever you want. Or Google me, just like my man Coverboy said. Google me, bro. Google me. I'm outside. Shout out, you already know, A Squad Rebel Radio. Thank you so much for having me, Karev. This has been great.
I'm glad, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry if you don't see his photo or his face. I apologize. StreamYard did his own thing. But for those of y'all who are listening to this on the streaming services, that's 2 classic interviews back to back. Shout out to Ace Wonder. Shout out to Chief Bali. And if you missed any one of them, you stupid, because we got great things coming and hip hop is here to stay. So may the Most High bless you. May your hip hop feed you, and may God service you, and may your righteousness serve the world. Chief Bali, Karev, peace.
Peace. Bali!
And we out.
Real hip hop. Real